So I know it's not time, but they're grapes here. I'm really curious to try Verdicchio on the vine. So I'm gonna taste one. But could you talk to me about when you are actually going through the vineyard, what you're looking for, what determines a ripe Verdicchio grape?
Well, the one thing is which I think is quite.
Whoa! That's how you wake up in the morning.
Yeah,
Holy
exactly.
moly! Interesting experience to have the grape like this so early in its life cycle. But Verdicchio comes from the root verde, which means green, and this is as green as it gets. It's almost kind of like neon. There's like the root of why we call it Verdicchio. That's awesome. I can't wait to come back and try them when they're riper.
Yeah.
Let's go drink it now.
Okay.
Enough of this. Let's do this. Okay.
We're rolling, Rob.
Pfizer.
Scusa, 2 cornetti con crema and 2 pastoccio. So the last time I was in Puglia was 2008 for my honeymoon. I think the thing I love about southern Italy, there's a sweet tooth here. Like you put cocoa in your coffee. This is pretty sugary, cream. I can't wait. I think for me, this is my favorite pastry in all of Italy. How do they stay so skinny? I do think if I had this every day, I'd be 800 pounds. But I'd be the happiest 800-pound person on the planet. It's really good. This is the right way to start the day. Thank you very much. Since my honeymoon, Puglia has held a special place in my heart. There's just something about the straightforwardness of the Puglian region. The pastries are sweet, the coffee's strong, the pasta is rich, and the wine is big, bold, and beautiful, aka it'll get you schnockered. Primitivo's origins may be debatable among wine pros, but there's no denying its home is now Puglia. Produttore di Manduria has a lot to do with that. It was founded back in 1932 and is the oldest active cooperative in Puglia. And while it seems quite big, the cooperative and its 400 members function more like small, individual farms. Each grower manages their own vineyards, working the land by hand. In essence, Produttore di Manduria is a closely knit family. Buongiorno, Raffaele. Grazie mille per la visita. How long have you been a farmer here in Manduria?
Io sono agricoltore, si può dire da quando sono nato, perché già da piccoli noi lavoravamo nel vigneto e comunque da 4 generazioni che facciamo viticoltura.
So Produttore di Manduria, the growers, you consider yourselves the masters of Primitivo. How are you a master of Primitivo?
Maestro in primitivo in quanto parte dell'azienda, io per produrre, per fare il primitivo bisogna essere dei maestri e avere delle conoscenze anche antiche, da ovviamente metterle insieme, confrontarle con le nuove tecnologie. Però bisogna avere delle conoscenze antiche. Io, in quanto maestranza, io ho costruito 460 aziende su Manduria di primitivo, proprio dal terreno. Va bene? E se qualcuno mi ha chiamato maestro, sono state le persone di 80 anni.
I like the word maestro better than master because we use it, they're different in English. Maestro would be the conductor, and I like this idea. It came through history, it came through family, and that makes you a maestro. These vines are happy vines. I look forward to tasting the happy wine. In Manduria, the Produttore is the keeper of memories, the economic engine, and the community center of the town. To teach the children of the area and tourists like us, the Produttore is a fascinating museum. It shows how the region and the people have evolved, and that to understand the now, they must never forget their past and how hard things used to be. When I was told that there was a museum in the winery, I was like, oh, it's going to be a lot of wine stuff. And then I walked down here and I was like, no, this is the story of your people.
Yes, the story of the people,
and
exactly.
It hit me in a way to understand, like, again, why I'm so passionate about this link between how culture is wine and wine is culture and how it can define a people. These two rooms represent the dichotomy of what it was to be a grower.
Yes. The first one bedroom was of the rich farmer, that he was also owner of the vineyard, so much money, better quality of the furniture. You can notice the difference between the second bedrooms, very cheap, without electrician light, the bed very cheap, very easy, with a mattress with the corn leaves.
So would this have been the mezzadria, the sharecropper, and this would have been the owner?
The owner, that rich owner, yeah. Or for the masseria, where people and animals live together, and the style life was very hard. It was very different. We are very proud of this place because, like I told you before, it's not only a museum. It's a place where stay the memories of our culture, the memories of our tradition of the people, of the community, and also the tradition and the story of the wine, a great wine, Primitivo.
Fulvio Figlio Schiavoni, a grower himself and now the chairman of the cooperative, has lived and experienced the ups and downs of the region. He is very optimistic about what the future has in store for his people, his region, and the wines they produce. What do you feel is the connection between the cantina and the city and the culture and the future of Manduria?
Una grande soddisfazione è quella che i nostri figli, i nostri giovani stanno ritornando alla campagna, perché si può sopravvivere oggi con il primitivo e la gente preferisce, invece di andare in un ufficio o di andare in un Italsider, di riportare in cultura i terreni dei propri genitori.
Well, cheers to the past, present, and future of Manduria.
Allora brindiamo
Prendiamo.
al primitivo, all'America.
So, we're at like my Italian fantasy. This is an everyday wine. This is how people really enjoy their wine. And I've actually never in my 20 years coming here have ever seen anything like this. I want to try everything. So let's start with the white.
White wine?
Yes, please. This is the Bianco, Monica.
Yes, this Bianco is made from Malvasia.
This is what we always talk about. You're like, remember when we were in Italy and we had that wine in the jug? This is it.
Another white one?
Let's keep it going. Are you always this busy?
Yes.
Yes, so a lot of people drink a lot of wine all the time.
Do you want to taste red wine now?
I want to taste everything. Beviamo tutti. Bottoms up. Grazie, Monica. Cheers. I'm guessing it's obvious how much I love La Marche. Nestled between the mountains and the eastern coastline of central Italy, it's known for its sandy beaches, fancy shoes, amazing fish, shipbuilding, and Verdicchio, one of my favorite underappreciated white wines. Michele Brunetti of Umani not only rocks a pair of Todds, the famed shoemaker of the region, but he and his family have been producing Verdicchio here from some of the oldest vines in the region. So we're in the heart of the Marche. This is Verdicchio. Verdicchio is the classic grape here. Could you talk about its connection to the culture and the people of the Marche?
Well, Verdicchio is, in some ways, yes, it's really reflecting the character of our people from Marche. It's a wine that normally is not too aromatic, but is very consistent on the character, on the palate. It's one which has beautiful aging potential, for instance, and Marche people actually is, I think, is the second longest average life in a region in Italy.
On labels in Italian wine when they're made from old vineyards, it's Vigna Vecchia.
Yes,
so
Vecchia Vigna.
Vecchia Vigna.
Yeah, it's the same,
so
yeah.
old vines.
Yes.
With this in particular, when you're tasting the grapes or tasting the wine, what would you say is the difference between when you try the wine from old vine versus young vine?
Normally you have very interesting character that is, I don't want to talk about minerality because it's, I think it's an inflation of use of this word. There's two, but you have this salinity, this bit of taste of
salty that is very typical of the old vines. And when you taste the wine from the tank directly, right after the fermentation at the winery in November, for instance, you very often recognize that this is the wine that is coming from Vecchia Vigna, even if you don't know. So the vines are always in very good conditions. 50 years old vines is less vigorous, less productive, so lesser bunches and definitely more quality.
I'm right next to a beautiful example of an old vine. And what make old vines so interesting to wine nerds like myself is they tell so many stories from the grapes to the wine. Their history, and they each have their own personality. Michele was telling me earlier that you have to be the highest level pruner to even come work in this vineyard because every vine has to be pruned differently. And Verdicchio is really interesting because it's a non-aromatic varietal, but what it has is texture. And these old vines produce wines of immense texture, richness, and density that I think make Verdicchio, in my opinion, one of the greatest white wines of not just Italy, but the world. And it's something that I think more people should be checking out. It is unusual to have a state, province, or region in the plural form, but La Marche is just that, a unique confluence of so many types of landscapes, people, food, climates, that it just makes sense to call it more than one. Why is La Marche plural?
Okay.
And what does it mean?
The region is plural from different point of view. It's plural in terms of dialects. The dialect spoken in the north, near Pesaro and Urbino, is very similar to what we get in Emilia-Romagna. The dialect spoken in Ascoli Piceno is similar to the one in Abruzzo. We have a plural situation of mountains where you can ski 7 months a year, but at the same time we have the beach. And in between the hills that you saw in the Verdicchio area. So it's very plural. And in fact, the claim that the regional tourism was using was Marche, Italy in one region, because we have different, situation. The only thing we're missing is flat. I think only 3% of the territory is flat. So it's mostly hills, mountains, and coastline.
Well, I'm into this plurality.
Yes. So we can experience different things.
Yeah.
So in the region, you can ski and go to the beach.
Yeah, especially in April.
So we've made it to Monte Falco, and I walked and spun on this falcon, and I just realized what Monte Falco is named after, and I feel like an idiot. I have no idea why I never put Monte, mountain, Falco, falcon, together to be Monte Falco. This is the home and land of Sagrantino, the brutal beast of Italian grapes that you have tamed.
Yes, Sagrantino is the most important grape, not only for Montefalco but for Umbria maybe, because if you take Sagrantino and you try to put in another country, it's not the same.
We've talked about that a lot with like Nebbiolo is grown in other places of the world. It makes good wine, but it doesn't make the same kind of wine. Sangiovese is grown all throughout Italy, and Emilia-Romagna, it's unique. In Tuscany, it's unique. Here, it's unique. Montefalco is a very small region, and it has the primary grape of Sagrantino, which is it grown anywhere else? I mean, I've only had it from here.
Yeah, only from here.
And it's singular. Come si dice beast?
Bestia.
Bestia. Why is it called the beast?
Because of the tannins, because of the.
It's also the fountain of
strong
youth, right? Aren't the tannins?
So
the
wild.
tannins are good for. They're good for you. They're natural antioxidants, and people say that it's one of the things that help you live a very long life to have
of
tannins.
Course.
Like
He has a very long time. Also because with the tannins we have a good acidity also.
Well, you're like 87, right? You look great. All the Sagrantino you've been drinking has kept you so young.
Yeah, it is.
Sagrantino is a grape that produces wines that go to 11. The color, the aromatics, the richness, the acidity, and most importantly, the tannins. Raffaele Pastuccia, winemaker at Colpoltrone, works hard in the vineyard and the cellar to calm the tannins. But the tannins are what makes the beast the beast. So how do you or I manage the tannins? With great food, of course. This is kind of sensory overload right now.
Oh, baby.
I need some Sagrantino because I feel so sinful, right? It's so sinful in here.
I mean, this is egg, potatoes, and some melted cheese.
Some melted cheese and
and black truffles. It's luxurious flavors, but outside of the truffle being rare, the potato and egg is it's a common. That's the interesting thing. I think the dichotomy of truffles, it's like you always do it with the simplest thing. This to me wasn't, when I think a beast, the tannin, you manage the tannins. I mean, this was really beautiful. And again, like this is where Sagrantino is not a cocktail. It's not a wine that you just, I mean, all of us can throw back wine, that's easy. Exactly. But this has to like be with this kind of food.
Yeah. But what I really like about the Sagrantino is that it reflects really the people that lives here, because Umbrian people are a little bit shy sometimes, a little bit, not too much welcoming. But when get to know them, they are fully hearted. And it's like the Sagrantino, when you drink it, it's a little bit bully at the beginning in your palate, but then it just starts to melt in your mouth, and then it gets the best of it. And so I'm really enjoying, just to get this wine around the world sometimes, and they're doing a great job there in the winery.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. No, it's welcome. Pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Salute. Forza Montevallo.
Cheers.
Sagrantino, Primitivo, and Verdicchio are not household names, nor are Puglia, Marche, or Umbria. Traveling through these regions and digging a little deeper, we've been able to see a through line that holds the history, people, and culture together. But you've got to take a chance to find something new. Drink an unknown wine or go to an unknown place, and more doors will open than you can ever imagine. Taking that risk can taste amazing. Cheers. Cheers. Nice catch. So I think this is the universe paying back for when tourists come to New York.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're like, oh, I want to go see this awesome building. And it's covered in scaffolding. So this is Santa Croce Cathedral, the most famous example of Gothic architecture ever. And it's covered in scaffolding.
It's covered.